Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Java with Ali and I am Ali. I am a software engineer. I have a PhD. That'll be my intro from now on. Thank you so much for the patience of people because I know I took a little bit of time off. I had to take care of some health issues that I was working on. I'm all fine now, so let's get going. Let's get cracking. So we're going to start with some basic stuff again. I'm going to go through some very similar things that we did to before, except this time we're going to go through them in more detail because I know a couple of people have asked a lot of questions about this and it's very relevant when you start in a workplace. So here we have our Eclipse. I just opened it. If you're unsure, please check out my very early videos about downloading Eclipse IDE. There are different types. Just download the regular Eclipse IDE. I'm using a Windows machine at the moment. I have ran Eclipse on a Mac computer and also on a Linux computer. So Linux even, sorry. So now we're just going to take a look at the integrated development environment, which is really important. So we're going to go to this is how I opened it. This was the default layout. We're going to create a new project. I'm going to say test November and I'm going to store it in my tutorial folder that I already have. I'm going to go to the latest version that I've downloaded. So your Java Standard Edition 16. There are different versions of Java. So, and that kind of means, and I referred to this in my previous videos, that kind of means that, let's say, for instance, I'm learning German at the moment and I continue to improve upon my German and I continue to learn it and new words get added all the time. So the dictionary that I bought 2 years ago now, almost 3 years ago now, gets updated every year with new words, just like Java as a language. So that means that our words that we use within Java are keywords that are reserved words that are going to have different meanings with the bytecode underneath. And what it does, basically the instructions that you give it are going to change or they will be updated or things will happen. Anyway, for the moment, we're just going to look at the latest version that I've downloaded on this specific computer. So that is Java Standard Edition 16. Now, I'm going to create a module info Java file as well, or maybe not, because I don't want one of those. I'm going to press next. Now, here is an important part of the project because when you're working in a workplace, you got to know where the source code is and you also got to know where the bin folder is and if you have any configurations, and this all builds into this. So we have our default output folder, which is going to be our bin folder. Allow output folders for source folders. You can do that as well. I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to press finish. So then I'm going to scroll to that specific test November folder. And here we go. So we have our package explorer, which we've just created. We also need to now create a Java project. So we just created a Java project, but we're going to now create a class. So this is going to be as part of our test November source folder. Are we going to keep it as a default package? I could create a package separately as well. So let's create a package separately first. I'm going to say test package. Now, create folders corresponding to packages. Here we go. Finish. Now I'm going to create my class. And with every class, I've got to spell it with a capital letter so we know that it's a class. Also, which method stubs would you like to create? So you can create automatic method stubs that are throughout this. My modifier, I have my three main ones: public, private, and protected. If I want to create a package that's different, but usually it's the 3 Ps that I used to call in my previous videos, the 3 Ps. I can make this an abstract or a final class, but it can't be both. So when it's a final class, it can't be changed. and we'll get to more of this in more detail as we're going as well. Our superclass then, and we had to talk about our inheritance video previously. Our inheritance video, we spoke a lot about how there's superclass, or in other languages, you also have in C#, we call it the base class and the parent class or parent child or superclass in this case. So in Java, we call the language that we use around using a superclass as superclass. Now, every class that you create inherits from object. It's an implicit inheritance because it's done in the background. So all of the language that we use is already using java.lang.object because it's an object-oriented language. So now, which method stubs would you like to create? I'm going to take the public static void main, tick, and inherited abstract methods. Do you want to add comments? Yes, I'm going to say yes, and you'll see the difference of how it looks like in the code. Ta-da! So you can see here my name, and I have it's within a package. So if I create another class, it will go into the same package. My class name is called hello class. And I have my parameters that I'm going to add in, and our arguments. Our arguments, or this can also be called the method signature. This will also be impacted if you call the same method name again, and you can put in different method signatures. There can only be one public static void main within an entire program. That's also important to know because that's the entry point for our program. That's the entry thread, actually. But we'll come to those important details as we're going along. So our to-do then are auto-generated method sub, and I'm going to do a system out.println hello world, and now we are going to run the program. So there are buttons up here that are quite important. This is a run button here that you're just going to need to know the run button for the moment. And down in the console, it says hello world. So whatever I put in here, it will run, and I'm going to run it again. So I'm just going to press the run, hello class. Yes, always save before launching. It's a great property to tick here as well. And it says hi. So we have different buttons up here that are part of the integrated development environment. That basically what the integrated development environment does, we write in English in words that can be translated to eventually bytecode underneath. And here's the fun part, wherever you've stored your file, so you have already stored it here, it shows it. Usually you have to click on the class first and go File, Open Projects from File System, and it shows exactly where it's stored. And you can just copy that and put it into an Explorer, and you'll be able to see bin is your .class, and that's your, let's open it and see what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And then we have here the source file, which we just opened there, which is this file, and our integrated environment development environment shows that. And then here we have our class path, which is also really important because our class path will dictate some of the properties that we need to use within our program. So you can see here that it has our JRE container. It shows our class path entry. Here as well, our source, and sometimes our output and our bin. And that's important later on if you have some errors in your code or anything like that. .project also. Here it has your Java builder and stuff. Really, you don't need to worry about these just yet. It's just for later on. I'm setting you up for when you go to work, because you will need these skills when you go into the workplace. When you get to the workplace, You might need to do configuration changes or things like that. So this is your first program in Java. Congratulations. So now you can program in Java. You've written your first program. So as I said, it goes in this order: package, and then you can put lots of things in the package as a class, and then you have your method, and your method is your action word. It's your verb. It's your thing that you do, and usually the same as a paragraph is written in a language, and usually in English I'm talking about. You have a paragraph, you have something that's done within that paragraph, and you don't go on to the next topic. You link them all together, but you don't go on to the next one until you've got that done, got that topic covered. And it's the same with programming. So with programming, we have our method, which is going to be our action. We have our class, which has different things within that. If you think of a class like a house, so it's a blueprint. I want to build, let's say, several different houses. I want to build several different houses with all different shapes and sizes and colors and things that they do. So my class is now my blueprint. I'm going to say I'm going to buy another house. Okay, what house do I have? Is there a front door? There's two front doors. Okay, there's two front doors. And then there's going to be a back door, and there's going to be multiple bathrooms, and it's going to have different colors, and they're called your properties. And the things that it does then is your method. So to open the door, then I create my door, and then I say open it, and that's what we're going to do for methods. So this is our first program that you've done, and after that, once you get that concept of here's an object, then we're going to do something to it, to your method, and within that, we're going to change the properties as well. So we have our class. Within our class, we have our package first, then our class, then we have our methods within that, and they're kind of dictating what we're going to do. Also, it dictates what properties we're going to change. So for the moment, this is our first program, and we will take it from there in the next. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to your comments below. I'm really happy that you're starting Java programming with me, and look forward to the next video. Okay, bye. Thanks.